does.
It does. It's a puppet show. Wait. Yeah.
Wow. Wonderful. Hello, Harold.
Hello, Bob.
Hello, Steve.
I gotta go see what's going on.
Well, you know, Sears working something.
I don't know, Shoshana. Maybe we can.
Hello, Michael. Maybe we can have those
Hi. How you doing? Good. How are you?
I'll just call him.
Okay. This is downtown.
Same stuff.
Same stuff, huh?
So you're expanding?
Yeah.
What are you guys doing? Any new warehouse?
Not yet, but phase two. Asher Kishanu Benitota Betimanu Lahalef Ner Shel Hanukkah Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam She'asa nisim rabotenu Vayomim Oheim Ba'azazeh Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
All right. This is number 7 tonight.
All right, come on, next grandpa with his grandchildren. Sam,
Come on, kids, come on over here. Come
like you
on.
like two, you got two sets.
I get two. Come on, kids. Here, come on, hold on.
Here, now let them. You let yours slip back and let somebody else.
All right, come on with
Grandpa like two with his grandchildren.
Come on, Mikey.
There you is. Okay, come on, Shauna.
Don't forget, get
Okay,
them.
Shauna comes now.
Come on, Sean.
Come on, Bri Bri. You do too.
You gotta have enough for everybody.
Come on. Okay, fine, you can't do it.
Always do me a favor when I eat.
Nice, Dr. Bob.
You like the candle, shake it with mine.
Is that a bad wig, Sam?
I got it. You got it?
Or you
No,
can
you
do
didn't get it. You gotta sneak it back. There we go.
He's got it now.
There you go. Okay.
You got it. There it goes.
All right,
Mikey, join together.
Harold, give somebody your camera.
All right, here.
All right, who's next, Brad? Who's next?
Harold.
Harold?
Wait a minute, Harold, then Odie.
Benji, wait a minute. I gotta get over
Get
there.
there with Grandpa.
Look at it. Odie's two-fisted.
Grandpa.
Run. Okay, let's go.
Look at me.
Okay.
All right. Here, wait, here she is. Here she is. Wait a minute. Here we go. There we go.
Okay.
All right. And Odie, you get the last one. You get the last two. You're host. Come on.
Here, Odie, let me
Max
take your
and Claire.
camera.
Thank you, son.
Larry is here for a moment, but Matt.
All right, Max, come on.
What day is this anyway?
This is the last day.
Is this the last day? Oh my God, we gotta get all of
No,
them.
tomorrow's the last day.
Tomorrow.
Here, we're gonna get Max, come on with Grandpa.
It's our turn.
Let me hold your toy, Max, if you like the candle. Let me hold your toy. Hold the toy. You like the candle? Last two candles with Grandpa.
Don't cover his face.
Yeah, really quick. There's one more. No, there's tomorrow's last day. No, you like two of them. You're the host. You're the host.
I sure hope you.
There we go. You know, guys, put some something about
I
it.
know, that's why I hope you got.
Max, wait a minute, Max. Here, Max, you want your toy?
Okay, Okay, come on, guys.
No.
They have the paper.
Valerie, who am I looking at, Valerie?
You're looking at Alyssa Hannah.
I can't hear you, Valerie. Who is it? Alyssa?
Alyssa.
Hello, Alyssa. Welcome to the Grandfathers Club.
Dinner, everybody.
Beverly, turn Lauren around. Little babies. Beverly, come
What's the
on.
matter with me, Bob? Bob,
Cyril.
if I smile, won't you take my picture, Bob?
Cyril, what's the baby's name?
Tyler.
His name is Tyler Elizabeth.
Tyler?
Elizabeth. Tyler Isaac Friedman.
Tyler Isaac Freeman. Well, we have a Zachary and a Tyler. They
Right.
dealing with
President, yes.
the president.
Kenny, did you hear
Zachary Tyler.
How cute.
And whose bar mitzvah will we show this
So this is
picture?
a betrothed couple. It's for the Jewish news.
Picture?
Is everything yummy back here, Lana? Okay, all right, I'll leave the baby right here. How about right here? I don't want to put it here on the table because then she'll get food all over her. I'm going to get your plate, sweetie.
When your chicken's gone, you can eat that. You're cute, honey.
Tell me about it. Tell me, are you learning? What are you learning to play? Huh? On the piano? That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Like it?
No, I just see chicken on your plate.
Part of it's like, she's imitating
I'll tell you.
doing things to her.
Yeah, but why
Happy Hanukkah, Sam.
Happy Hanukkah, everybody.
Hello, Val.
This is the greatest evening.
Here we are.
Hello, Leslie. Sarah. Hello, Sarah. Looking through the lens. Hello, Sarah.
Gender identity because he's not afraid of the color pink.
Hello, Jason. Hello, Beverly.
Hey, where are you going?
Claire is very...
Mikey, what are they gonna do? Mike? Huh?
We gotta get one more chair. Shall we move you over?
I want everyone down here.
Need one more chair.
Hello, Benjamin.
Here, what about this?
Should I go let Dad come down? I'll take the baby.
Yeah.
Come on, Jack. Come on, Jack. I got your chairs over here. Valerie, can Zachary sit next to you?
Oh, wonderful.
Okay, now we have Q-tips for the...
Go with Mrs. Indenbaum.
I think it's just...
Go sit there next to her. Can you get her over there?
I have stick. Where would I find...
How do you get the glue like you just poured out?
Dolores, what are they gonna be making?
They're going to be making
go sit down.
puppets. We're going to make funny puppets and cutie pie.
Oh, and Dolores is going to show you.
Everybody has a sock there.
I don't have a sock. Watch Aunt Dolores.
Okay, watch Dolores. She's demonstrating a general idea of
I
how it
got a
works.
sock.
She has a sock.
You know
You have a
what
sock?
it's like a little footsie.
We have socks.
Everybody has
Can
a
I have
sock.
one too?
Let's see, Mike. Let's see your sock.
And everyone has a mouth. See a mouth? Get your mouth.
Wow.
Everybody's got a mouth. See? Close your hand, like if you put your sock on. You want to try it? I'm using a demonstration for you, okay? You're the demonstration. Then you have to put glue on one side of your mouth and put it like that so that when you close your hand, look what you got. All
Let's
the
see.
adults help, and then we'll go to the next stage after that.
What are we doing?
Okay.
That's right.
I did 2 times.
I don't have a round eye. I don't have a
Jay, yeah,
round eye.
Jay?
What do you do like this, Mom?
No, do it on the mouth. Put the glue on the mouth.
Okay. Oh, the glue on the mouth? I did on both. All right.
It doesn't matter.
But there's got to be enough
Dolores, you didn't want to put like a paper cloth on here? You might have a chance to clean it up.
too low. I don't have the other
No, that's the mouth. The mouth is supposed to be too low.
Put it too low. Look how my mouth closed.
I think her mouth needs to be a little higher.
Higher?
Make it go like that.
Put it up higher.
What do you mean, like this?
Here, Brad.
But I thought the mouth should be the lowest part.
I need
Because you gotta have eyes, you have handy houses.
Let's see it, Mike.
Handy houses.
Those are nice eyes. Look what I'm gonna do.
This is what they're going to use also.
I went up there. Here, look. Let's see what you got.
Oh, you're at Bradley's all the time. You're a good one.
Mike, let me see. Mike. Put some more glue in there. Mike.
Yours is nicer too.
Michael. You want to have her put a feather in there?
Mine is nicer. Bradley, get this one on there too.
Let me give you another picture. No, you want that color? Okay. Who's that, Brian? Oh my goodness, I'm so scared. Come on, let's see the puppet show. Oh, Star, don't go. You're cramping. Valerie, you're gonna run away. No, I'm gonna run
Again, the same thing.
Sam, now, what's the story about?
This is the story of Mishka the Kvetch.
Okay.
Now, there was a small village named Hemer, and in there lived Mishka, who was considered by all to be the village Kvetch. Now, do you know what a Kvetch is? Anybody? Do you?
What's a kvetch? I know one.
Well, a Kvetch is a complainer. Someone's always complaining. That's a Kvetch. And that's what Mishka was. She would complain from morning till night. From the time she got up in the morning till she went to sleep at night, she was complaining. When the baker would ask her how she was feeling, you know what Mishka would say? She'd say, "Oy vey, my back! It feels like I've carried the wall of Jericho itself. And my feet, let me tell you, they are swollen to the size of watermelons." Can you believe that? They get that there, but that's what she complained of. And when the baker would ask her how she was feeling,
Jackie,
Mishka would
put your
say,
arm in yours.
"Oy vey, it's me, oh my back." But that's one thing. But when the dressmaker would ask her about how her children were, you know what Mishka would say? Do you? No? She would say, "Oy, if only I had a nice home, but it's more like our house." She'd always complain. Yep. Well, now on one particular day, Mishka woke up and looked up to the heavens, way up high, and said, "If only I can have the strength to bear another terrible day." But as she spoke, her tongue itched. Not an ordinary itch like you get. You get an itch, don't you, once in a while?
No.
Yes, everybody gets an itch. But this was a special itch. Do you think
see a
that
picture
was
of
your
it.
son?
Yeah.
I think it's a funny thing. Look at that big pickle with a bump, because she said that he was like a bump on a pickle. So let's see what happens. Let's go on and see what happens then. She looked all over the house. She could not find her son. All she saw was that pickle. Well then, she said, where could he be in this little box of a house? Because it was she thought about it in aloud, and then at last, she could hear her house groaning. And then the house started getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and look at this. She was this house was so small that she couldn't even fit in it. Her in that house. And she wiggled free finally. Oh, she said, I've got to see my daughter and tell her what's happening. All these strange things. And she ran through the village. Anyone have any idea? Well, we'll find out in a
You
second.
don't have an idea?
Well, she reached her daughter's home, and there she knocked at the door, and then her daughter came out. There she is, sticking her head out the wall and out the door, and she said, and so the lady said, Mishka said, well, look what's happening to me, daughter. Look what's happening to me. Everything's happening. She says, daughter, who is this old woman? The daughter said, you're not my mama. She doesn't remember. Remember, she read that wish that she didn't remember, and now she doesn't remember her own mother. You're not my mama. And she closed the door just as tight as she could. Now Mishka was dumbfounded. What is happening? She exclaimed. She clutched at her heart. Isn't it enough that I know? And you think a wall of Jericho is going to be on her now? Yes, sirree. Look at you can see there the melons right on her feet. Because she said that she's going to have the wall of Jericho and the melons on her feet. There's the melons. And watch the next page and we're going to see something else. A wall of Jericho on top of her.
Wow.
She couldn't move. The rabbi listened as Mishka told the whole story of her latest troubles. And she told her everything, don't you worry. When she had finished, the rabbi shook his head from side to side. I have heard of such cases, he said. Did your tongue itch, a funny itch before it started? Yes, yes, yes! That's what Mishka said. Well, the rabbi shook his head again. I'm afraid you have the Kvetch's disease. You know what the Kvetch's disease is? The what? Well, the Kvetch's itch, reported the rabbi. Happens rarely, but only to a Kvetch. And it causes everything the Kvetch complains about to happen. Oy vey, said Mishka, I have caused these things to happen with my own words? Oh, it's terrible. But however, said the rabbi, raising a finger, if you praise the good in your life, if you praise the good, then these problems will cease. That's what he said. If you will look at good things and not look at the bad things, you will be cured of this terrible malady. Well, that's what it said. Well, Mishka frowned, thinking about what the rabbi had said, not knowing what to do for sure, but because she'd never done it before. Well, very well, Rabbi, Mishka said, I will try. She said, no, my son, she said, my son who is good, who is a wonderful person, educated, learning. Yes, 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 Rabbi said, that's the way to do it. And he reads to seek knowledge, said Mishka. Oh, and my house is snug and well built. It's not small at all. And I am lucky that my daughter, who was very busy with her whole family, she has her own family, but she still finds time to come and visit me once a month. Yes, sirree. And at these words, what happened? The wall started coming off of her. Look at how the wall that she was before. Remember, she hadn't known her before? And now Mishka's daughter opened the door and says, Mama, Mama, she said, I was just coming to visit you. Look at how things have changed for Mishka. Well, when Mishka returned to her home, she found it just like her husband had built it. And when she went into her son's room, there he was, reading and learning. Look at that. Right in bed, becoming smarter and smarter because he reads so much. And I am happy and I got the greatest children and everything is good because I'm not looking at the bad things. No siree. And that's the end of that story.
Yay! More, Sam,
The other story, well, this is a story about Samuel the peddler. You see that peddler? His name is Samuel. Do you know anyone else in this house that has the name Samuel?
Dudley and Star and Zachary and Max and Michael and who else?
Bye-bye.
And who came in that fourth day? Wait a minute.
Claire.
We have an unhappy neighbor here.
Wait a minute.
If you sit way back, we go.
Question. Much more manure than...
Oh, yes, she's very...